Hello and welcome to the eighth episode of our series titled Siddha Prajna. In Siddha Prajna, in today's episode, I would like to backtrack a little bit from the book that I am following, and I'd like you to turn your attention towards a little earlier chapter, chapter 6 and verse 5. It deals with the mind. I'll slowly chant that verse. Uddhared atmanatmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripu atmanaha. In plain English, the mind is its own, the self is its own enemy, the self is its own friend, foe and friend at the same time. That is the second line. The first line translates to roughly Uddhared Atmanatmanam. It is the self's duty, it is the self's onus to uplift itself in life, in situations, in contexts where the senses provide input of an unfavorable kind. What the senses provide gives you an impression or an impact, either pleasant or painful to the mind. So, in this case, in our context of Siddha Prajna, which is the aim and goal of life, from uh, gradually evolving from uh, Parimita Prajna to Parinata Prajna and to higher states of Parinata Prajna, we have to divide or split our mind, our self, into two. This is what the verse 5 in chapter 6 indicates. So, what we have to do is create, in fact, in the Upanishads, there is a story of a tree with two birds sitting. One bird sitting at the top branches, another bird sitting at the low hanging branches. It is the common penchant for everybody living to go for the low hanging fruit, catch what is easiest to grasp, and then consume it. This is the world's order. If that is the case, what is the upper branch bird doing? The upper branch do is the branch bird is totally engrossed in meditation. That means that bird's mind is hovering or cruising at very high altitudes. Here's a lesson to learn. Every man, because he is a human being, is endowed with the power uh, to evolve his mind from a lower to higher state. So the moment you reach a higher state of mind, removed from matter, we will come to the mind matter context a little later. The mind which is on the higher state is closer to the Siddha Prajna state, is closer to the universal consciousness state. Whereas the mind which is on the lower plane is still attached to the pleasures of the world, like the lower branch bird is trying to enjoy and consume. All of us have a consumerist mind. This is what the modern economics experts, pundits profess. Whatever comes, whatever old or whatever comes or whatever trendy comes or catchy comes, we have to have it. We have to possess it and we have to enjoy it. Or almost often we have to enjoy it alone without letting anybody else enjoy it. Like take the case of fashion. Nobody would like to see a same dress or a same shirt worn by another person. Everybody would like to be a unique consumer. This is the state of the lower mind. So, if the lower mind and the higher mind are always in conflict, or always repelling each other. You will never have a complete personality. You will never reach that state of evolution, or you will never slide into a state of evolution by habit and reach higher levels of cognition, higher levels of intellectual cognition. And let us talk about the mind matter connection. In the young age, we are all, the mind is controlled or governed by matter. What is matter? Whatever is represented in the material world or the temporal world. The temporal world consists of, basically, it has been found and decided to have two kinds of creations, two kinds of things, let's say. One set of things created naturally. The Vedantists call it Ishvara Kritam, Ishvara Srishti. Another kind of world of materials, like buildings, architecture, temples, churches, mosques, and places of worship, dams, electrical projects, and all these things are Manushya Nirmitam, Manushya Kritam. So these two classified sets of materials consists of the material or matter world, matter governed world. Whenever the human mind, and the human mind has a particular condition, the human mind is attuned to always outside, to watch and cognize things and objects what's outside. Vishayam here means objects outside, the material objects what's outside. And human mind has a capacity, a normal propensity to get attached or create an affinity towards objects outside. This is why earlier, in an earlier episode, I mentioned, do not fall a prey to Vishaya Sangha. Vishaya means material objects, Sangha means undue attachment, which turns into a pathetic condition called obsession. In psychiatry, it's also called obsession, a kind of manic obsession. This is what leads to disasters, the Gita tells. So, it is the onus of everybody to recognize the two levels of minds, and the lower level mind we should recognize in our early ages to continuously make it evolve into a higher state of mind. The higher state of mind has no time or interest towards the objective world. Although I'm not saying that we should renounce the world altogether immediately, but it should be a gradual effort. Gita says specifically in a different context, Shanai Shanair Uparamed. Shanai Shanai means slowly and slowly but gradually Uparamed. Withdraw from the objective world, from the world of the objects to a world inside, internal world. The Kathopanishads, a title that is under publication by me, authored by me, will be coming soon. The Kathopanishad also contains a very, very, very pithy proclamation which says, the creator or the Swayambhu, the creator, unfortunately has turned our minds, our senses to the world outside, to the world of the seen, Gochara, Lokam. All the world that is outside of us, like the sun and the stars, night and day, girls and boys, attractive objects that will catch your attention easily but lead to disaster, great food that gluttons enjoy. All these things will be very tasty and very attractive at first, but then later will lead you into abysmal conditions. The second chapter also probably gives the world's best psychoanalytical condition. It mentions about the cascade to disaster, how a person's attitude can cascade himself or herself into the depth of disaster. We will discuss that a little later in another episode. Now, here we should take to understand that Uddhared Atmanatmanam. It is our own responsibility and duty to recognize the lower mind, identify its cognitive defects through meditation, through internal contemplation, and then lift itself into another higher mind, which is by nature, by default, attuned to the cosmic mind. This is the difference between Uddharet Atman Atman. It is not the same self as many people would love to interpret this sloka. We have to recognize or cognize the existence of a lower mind and a higher mind, and uplift as if by an escalator or an elevator, gradually, floor by floor, age by age, year by year, or month by month, to cultivate a condition, to cultivate a mentality or cultivate a mindset where you will consciously practice elevation of the mind from the lower to the higher state. You should, it is na atmanam avasadayet. You should never mutilate your mind. Never try to destroy your mind yourself. That will be suicidal. Remember that this is what Krishna cautions us. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhu. So this is the conclusion. The conclusion statement says very categorically, without any ambiguity, that you are your own friend and you are your own foe, because your mind, your heart, your head consists of a coin which has definitely two sides. And another scripture, let me quote a line from that. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Sanskrit. Don't be afraid. You can by heart it, or you can write it somewhere, or you could record it somewhere separately. It is the mind which creates bondage. It is the same mind which leads to liberation. So this is a one-line interpretation of the sloka that we are trying to study. One and the same personality housing multiple states of mind. It is exactly that mind that we are trying to uplift every day through meditation, through practice, by observing good habits, by observing dharma, by observing righteous practices. As I mentioned, practice 6 months of telling the truth, not lying, as a beginning, as a kindergarten lesson. So we will reach definitely those higher states of existence as we move on, as we cruise along life, and by the grace of the super consciousness personified by Krishna, with this, with the grace of that power, which is again residing inside us, we hope to achieve a state of liberation while living here. Thank you very much for listening. Until we meet next time, goodbye.